Hello and welcome back to my craft room. Well, we've had the most amazing summer here in the UK. Scorchio, absolutely baking hot summer. It's now, as I'm recording this, it's the 3rd of September. All the kids will be going back to school after the summer break next week. The nights will soon start to draw in again and it's getting a little bit chilly today. I can't believe it. There's lots and lots going on, lots of projects in the pipeline, all sorts of things to keep us happy creating all through the winter or summer months, depending on where you are in the world. And one of the things that I know lots of people will be looking forward to is the next Arty Farty swap, which starts on the 1st of October. I like to give people a few weeks to start getting their heads around ideas for the theme and to perhaps start putting feelers out and making up a little list of swapsters. So what's it all about? The first swap we did was back at the beginning of 2023, I think it was. This is the 6th one now. We did the great big little stitchery swaps, number 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then we changed it last time. So for the first couple we just did 10 centimetre or 4-inch squares of stitchery. Then later on we changed it, we did tags, so people could still do squares if they wanted to. Then last time we really changed it up, we called it the Arty Farty Hearty swap, and the idea was that it didn't have to just be stitchery, it could be art or any arts and crafts, basically any arts and crafts you like. This time I'm going to keep that going, that idea of it can be anything, it doesn't have to be just stitchery, but I'll tell you what the new theme is in a minute. Oh, I've got a funny thing in my neck. So the idea is that I don't take in the swaps and send them out. It's not that kind of a thing. And what I do is give you the theme, provide a platform where you can reach out and connect with each other and arrange your swaps. So you can do that either by joining the Arty Farty Annie Facebook group if you haven't already, or our Discord, Arty Farty Discord community. They're both free to join and you're welcome to join both. So what you need to do is go into either or both of those places and say, hi, I'm so and so, I'm in whichever country you're in, I'm looking for so many people to swap with. You need to say which countries you're happy to swap with. It can get expensive on postage, especially if you're not just making flat little pieces of stitchery, and especially with the new tariffs and things that have come in the United States just recently. I would be, if you're in America, to be honest, with the way things are at the moment, if I were you, I'd probably stick to swapping within the States. I mean, you're a big country, you've got lots and lots of scope there. I know there are lots and lots of people in the States swapping, so there's perhaps no need to swap elsewhere in the world, because I'm just worried that not only will it cost you more money to send out to other countries, but also when your swaps are sent back to you, is there a chance you could end up being liable to pay customs duties at the other end? I don't know. It all seems to be a bit in a state of flux at the moment, so just a word of warning. I would also say to people, the idea of this isn't it's lovely that people quite often will send lots of extra goodies and things, and I think that's really sweet when people do that, but don't feel about when I send my swaps, I literally just wrap my swap inside a bit of tissue or something, I put it inside a card, I keep it as flat as I can. Last time I did do some more three-dimensional ones, but I only posted those, and they had to go into little boxes, but I only posted those within the UK. All my overseas swaps all got the flatter hearts that I did. So just be mindful of that. Don't feel obliged to put lots of extra things in, you really don't need to. I know a lot of the Australian ladies were told by their postal workers that if they're doing just a flat piece of stitchery, put it inside a card and mark it card only, and it will just go as a card. For me, I tend to send mine large letter, as it's called, large letter post in the UK, because with large letter it can be as deep as 2.5 centimetres. And there are rules about how big it can be that way as well. So yeah, just just be mindful of that when you're arranging your swaps. If you've not done it before, I would say just do one or two first, see how you get on, see how you like it. Don't take on too much all at once, especially if you've not done it before. You want to relax and enjoy the whole process. It's the idea of it is that it's a way to connect with each other in a more kind of tangible way. We all connect with each other online anyway. Our community's amazing. The swap is a way of celebrating that community and perhaps connecting with people in a more kind of physical way. There's nothing like holding a little piece of work that someone's created for you in your hands. It's just the most amazing thing. Many of you will have seen me opening lots of Happy Meals from people all over the world, and it just never gets old for me. I've always got a pack of tissues in my desk drawer now. I need them so often. I think I'm probably gabbling through this so what I used to at this point, I'd be saying about what the dimensions of the squares or the tags or whatever. There isn't really a rule, and the way we're doing it now, where it can be any art and craft, I can't really give a size guide. I would say if you're stitching, God, so I keep blinking, I've got something in my eye. But the square, when we did squares, they used to be, and you can still do squares if you'd like to, or tags or hearts. You can definitely follow the theme. You can definitely do flat pieces of stitchery still if you'd like to, or any other kind of needlework or whatever you want to do. Just as I say, just bear in mind the postage, because it can get out of hand, especially if you take on a lot of swapsters. And ask me how I know. So let's get to the theme. So the theme I've decided on for this time is Home Sweet Home. I toyed with different ideas to call it, like because we had the Arty Farty Hearty swap last time. I thought if I say home swap or house swap, it's going to sound like something completely different. We probably get all sorts of people clicking on the videos expecting something completely different. So I'm going to call it Home Sweet Home. And so this could be anything from little houses. I've got some examples to show you in a minute of just things that have been sent to me before. But also bear in mind that a home can be all kinds of things. So a home could be a nest, a birdhouse, a beehive. I don't know. It could be we don't just have to think of our own houses. It could be any little creatures. It could be a rabbit hole, couldn't it? I've got some. Let me take you to the desk and show you these. Just a few random pieces that I've pulled out to show you, just to give some ideas. Oh no, I've forgotten who sent me this. I have such a sieve-like head recently. If you're watching this, shout up in the comments. Whoever it was sent me some lovely things, and really lovely things, and this was one of them. This cute little strawberry house. How sweet is that? A little fairy house, I think of it as. Yeah. Oh, for goodness sake. No, it's utterly gone out of my head. I'm really sorry. How rude. To be fair, I have opened a lot of parcels from people just recently. How gorgeous is that? So yeah, this would, because it doesn't now have to be something flat. It can be something three-dimensional like this. This is really cute and would be a lovely thing to send someone, because you can use it as a pin cushion or whatever. I've just got it up on my little show and tell shelf at the moment. But yeah, really beautiful. So you could definitely do something like that. Little toadstools, little felted toadstools, that would be fun. This was sent to me by Viviana, one of her little houses. She's been making little houses similar to this with scraps of fabric, and she's been framing them, putting them into little box frames. It looks so adorable. And look at this one with its little beaded tree outside. How cute is that? She's turned it into a brooch. So you could do something like that. It doesn't have to be a flat piece of stitchery. This is what I mean. I put these here because I came across these in my drawers of stuff the other day when I was looking for something else. And these are little wooden houses. I got a box of them really cheap from somewhere like the Works or the Range or something here in the UK. Cheap as chips, these are. Little wooden houses, which of course you can paint with acrylic paint pens or something like that. You could turn them into brooches. You could mount them onto a little card, anything goes. I've just quickly pulled together a few things that I happened to find. This is something I made myself at a class years and years ago. Now, I'm not suggesting you do anything as elaborate as this, but you could do if you wanted to. But a small version of something like this where you've just like decoupaged a few items together. I can't remember now if they gave us these ready-made or if we made up these house shapes. can't for the life of me remember, but it's a lovely way to play with mixed media and showcase some of those cute little things you you hoard in your stash drawers if you're like me. This is really dusty. There's a little dust on it. How authentic. And I also put these here. So this is from, was it the first or second swap? I can't remember, but this was when we were still swapping 10 centimetre or 4-inch squares. This one was from Deb here in the UK, who put pearly buttons on them, even though she hates pearly buttons. I love that button, son. Yeah, so you could do something like this. You could still do, if you want to do your squares of stitchery, you could still do that. If you still wanted to do hearts, maybe you could do a little house inside of a heart, you know. Just as an example, this one's from Nancy. I think Nancy was in the States, if I remember right. Yeah, how gorgeous is that? A little row of different kinds of houses. Yeah, and they don't have to be this kind of classic house shape. I mean, actually, not many of us really live in a house this shape anymore. Lots of us live in this kind of thing, don't we? You know, you could do like a really urban landscape, you know, cityscape or whatever. That might be. You could do. Hang on, come back up here now. You could take it in a different direction altogether and do something that represents your home. You know, I think I thought about just making it just saying like houses, you know, but then I thought, no, let's leave it a little bit more open, give people a bit more scope to play. Whatever it is you love to do, whether you love to paint and draw or do collage or stitch or knit or crochet or sculpt or make jewellery, whatever, anything goes, whatever arts and crafts you like. What I would say is when you're looking for your swapsters, so if you want when you go to connect with your swapsters, if you've not done it before, you need to go into either the Facebook group or the Discord community, where there'll be a special swap room. In the Facebook group, you just have to put it, you know, on the community page. You need to say, I think I've already mentioned this earlier, but let's just reiterate, you need to say who you are, where you're from, where you want, which countries you're happy to swap with. As I say, just be wary be mindful of the new tariffs in that have just come into effect, I think 29th of August in the States. My reading of it is that if it's under a certain value and it's a gift, we'll still be okay, but it's all like really up in there at the moment, and I just think maybe it's a bit easier just to avoid swapping internationally at the moment. I don't know. I mean, I certainly would. So yeah, you need to say who you are, where you're from, where you're happy to swap with, how many swaps you're looking for, and I would say give some indication of what you're planning to do. You know, you don't have to be really specific about, you know, designs and things, but you can just say, you know, and also what you're happy to get back. So you might say, for example, I'm planning to do some knitted houses. It's just off the top of my head, but I'm happy to get anything in return. Or you might say, I want to make a quilt. I'm going to be making stitched squares for my swaps, and I'd like to get 10 centimetre stitched squares in return. So just be really specific, and then what happens is people will see your post and then they can comment on your post to say, hi, I'm so and so, I'd love to swap with you, I'll PM you. That is really important. Please don't anyone put any personal details. You can say which country you're in, that's fine. You know, so I could say, hi, I'm Annie, I'm in the UK, I'd love to swap with you, I'll PM you. All personal details must go in personal message. You can do that in Facebook and you can do that in Discord. Please, every time we get problems with people posting their addresses on or their emails, please don't do that. Please don't do that. And don't take any photos. Be careful when you're showing photos of your swaps that come in, that you don't show envelopes with other people's addresses on, because that's something that's happened before. Usually either myself or one of our admins will jump in and quickly remove them, but please be careful. So yeah, you'll do that, and then they'll message you and you'll be able to contact each other and say, yep, I'm happy to do that. And you can always say, so what I'm planning to do is this, are you okay with that? I'm happy to get anything in return, or I'd really like to just have, I only want to get stitchery in return, or whatever. I don't do any of that. All I do, as I say, is provide the platforms so that you can connect with each other. And I can't take any responsibility for things going astray or whatever. Very occasionally that does happen. It's one of those things that you've just got to accept that it might happen. I would say that the joy and fun that we've all had out of these swaps far outweighs the odd times that, you know, maybe you haven't got back quite as many as you sent out. I think overall I've swapped hundreds now, and I've only had maybe, I could probably count on one hand the ones that have gone astray, or people have just kind of disappeared and I've never heard from them again. So it's very unusual, but you have to accept that could happen, and I can't take any responsibility for that or do anything about sorting it out. All I'm doing is providing the platform for you. What else do I need to say? I mean, if there are any more questions, ask them in the comments, and also other people who swapped before will put you right if you've got any questions as well. The other thing to remember is when you're looking for swaps, don't forget, if you don't just go into the Facebook group or the Discord community and just do your post saying I'm looking for swapsters, and then sit there and wait for them. I mean, you can, you know, keep checking the comments on your post to see if anybody else has responded, and keep checking your personal messages. But also don't forget to scroll up and down and look for other people's posts, because don't forget you can respond to other people's posts, so you don't need to just sit and wait for them to respond to your post. You can go and respond to their posts, so don't forget to do that. It sounds obvious, but it's not always. I'm going to do a little kind of a Word document which I'll put in the swap room in Discord, and it will be pinned at the top, and I'll put it in the Facebook group as well, and it will be pinned so you can click on featured tabs and you can always find that again, which just sort of reiterates what rules and guidelines there are. There aren't many really. Dates wise, the swap starts on the 1st of October, so I would say don't send any of your swaps out before that. You know, you don't need the swap to be arriving with people on the 1st of October. The idea is that that's when you start kind of working on your swaps. The deadline to get them all sent out is the 31st of December, so you've got 3 whole months from the 1st of October to get your swaps made and sent out. They don't have to reach your recipient by the 31st of December, because you can't guarantee when they're going to reach it, especially if it's overseas. You need to have sent them out by then. So bear in mind, before you get sort of worried and anxious that you haven't had all your swaps in, you might send yours out really soon. You might have yours out the first week of the swap and get them all sent out, but bear in mind that you might not get all of yours back until into January, because if somebody hasn't posted them out till 31st of December, and I'm usually one of those and it takes a couple of weeks to get to you, or even more, it might be the end of January before you get it. So don't fret if they've not arrived. Don't start putting messages on the Facebook group saying, where are my swaps? Because, you know, it might just be that people are taking the time. You know, it's supposed to be fun. It's not meant to be a stressful thing. It's not meant to be a race. It's meant to be something we enjoy. We create our little pieces of whatever they are with love and joy and friendship, and it's not meant to be stressy at all. I didn't used to bang on about all of that so much, but it's just because of things that have happened. You know, this is the 6th swap now, so we've learned a lot as we've gone along. I think that's probably all I need to say. As I say, if there's any other questions, just ask, and also you can just ask in the communities, and people will always jump in and help out. It's such a lovely, friendly, helpful community. Now, having said all of that, I love the idea of this theme, I really do, and I've enjoyed every single swap that I've done. I've done them all except one. I sat one out. I'm going to have to sit this one out. You'll know, if you're a regular viewer, you'll know I've had a lot on for the last few weeks, and I've got a lot piled up coming up over the next few weeks as well. So I'm going to have to be a bit firm with myself and take a step back, and I'm going to have to sit this swap out. If you want, I think I've got a handful of people who I did put on my early birds list after I'd stopped taking more swaps from the last swap. They said, "Oh, can I go on your list for next time?" And I have still got you on a list, so I'll keep you on a list, and swap with you the next time, but this time I'm afraid I've got to sit this one out, and I'm going to be watching from the sidelines and feeling like I'm missing out. I know I am, but I'm really looking forward to seeing all of the swaps going back and forth. And that reminds me, one more thing, if you've not done it before, the general thing is that when you get your swaps in, you take a little picture of them and share them either in the Facebook group or in the swap room in Discord, so that you can show everybody what you got, and you can say thank you and you can tag the person that sent it to you as well. So that's a thing. And I noticed that last time with the hearts, what people were doing was also taking a picture of all the hearts they'd made before they sent them out. I think previously we've not done that because we didn't want to spoil the surprise for people, but really if you're showing them all like that all at once, people don't know which one they're going to get, do they? So yeah, if you want to do that as well, do. I think probably what I'd do is take a picture of all of them and then show that afterwards when I know that all of my recipients have got theirs. I don't know, but I mean, last time I did videos showing the making of mine as well that I was sending out to people. So yeah, if you want to do that, I don't see any harm in it really. It's totally up to you. I don't think there's anything else I need to bang on about right now. That's probably quite long enough. Very excited to see it. Although I'm sitting this one out, I'm very excited to see all the comings and goings. It's always amazing to see the groups filling up with colourful photos when the swap starts. It gets very, very busy. So that's it. Have fun, enjoy. I hope you like the theme. Let me know what you think in the comments. That's it from me for now, and I will see you again really soon. Bye.